So apparently, James Gunn says one thing, but the documents say another. Now, James Gunn swears the Superman movie costs $225 million, but now we've got legal tax filings out of Ohio that shows it's actually $363 million. Now, James Gunn doesn't want this thing getting out because that Superman costs that much, then it's not just a big movie, it's a financial landmine. Now, Superman can't just be decent. It needs to be a box office giant, or James Gunn's entire DC reboot is in serious trouble. And this is the problem when James Gunn tries to run both creative and PR damage control at the same time. He's got Superman set for release in just over a month, and instead of focusing on delivering a clear, transparent marketing rollout, well, the conversation is about shady budget claims, conflicting reports, and official tax filings that directly contradict everything that James Gunn is telling the public. And let's not forget, this is not the first time Warner Brothers has pulled this exact stunt. You see, they've already dropped the $225 million number like it's gospel, and right out the gate, that raised red flags. That number isn't coming from a third-party audit. It's coming from the studio. And conveniently, it puts Superman's break-even point around $700 million worldwide. Does that sound familiar? Well, it should, because they did the same thing with The Flash, and that movie crashed and burned. You see, they lowballed the budget, pretended it was fine, and then it all fell apart when the real numbers showed up later. Now, James Gunn, for all his confidence and micromanaging, is still towing the studio line. You see, he already went out there and dismissed earlier claims that Superman was sitting at a $363 million production cost. He laughed it off and said he wished the budget were, that high. And he pointed fingers at some, interns supposedly misreporting critical documents. But that excuse doesn't hold water, because those documents weren't just, leaked rumors. They were legal filings tied to Ohio state tax credits. And that's the actual state paperwork. You see, the Columbus Business Journal got their hands on the tax documents, not Reddit, not a scoop site, not some shady leaker on X or Patreon. This was a verified source backed by the Ohio Motion Picture Tax Credit Program. And that number, $363,845,386, is an estimate. That is the kind of number that doesn't form an intern messaging on Excel. It comes from internal audits, basically. You see, I'm gonna give you that number again. $363,845,386. Okay, that came from internal audits, receipts, payroll, and planned expenditures, which Ohio requires to award millions in tax relief. And James Gunn can wave it off all he wants, but this isn't the kind of thing you can sweep under the rug when your Superman movie is already under a microscope. Now, the studio needs this film to perform, and if the real number is over $360 million, then that fake $225 million spend is PR bandage that's going to fall off fast, because once box office totals start rolling in, because that means Superman doesn't just need to break several $100 million. It might need closer to $900 million or more just to be profitable. Now, I also want to say this. I had a comment before on the previous video when I shared the estimated budget for it, the Superman movie, where I said it was around $300 million, and somebody asked in the comments section, where do you have proof of it, because it wasn't revealed yet. Well, I might have got the number wrong, but the number was much worse than I anticipated based on these legal documents that were just released. So take that. And here's where the stakes get real. This isn't just, about Superman. This is James Gunn's blueprint for the entire DCU. If this one fails, if fans walk away unimpressed or indifferent, Then the whole roadmap for Lanterns, the Authority, and Supergirl starts to collapse. You see, Gunn isn't just directing a movie, he's actually auditioning as the architect of the next decade of superhero films. And if this bloated Superman production can't carry its own weight financially, Warner Brothers is going to start asking tough questions. Matter of fact, they should have been started asking tough questions. But there's also the absurdity of the marketing narrative where James Gunn and the studio floated the idea that Superman would get Barbie level marketing. I mean, Barbie had a marketing blitz that reportedly cost around $150 million. So if Superman's production really is $363 million and they're also planning $150 million in global marketing, now we're looking at a movie that needs to actually generate Avengers level numbers just to breathe. All right. Now, they're actually banking on the idea that fans are desperate for Superman to return. But nostalgia doesn't, guarantee profit. I mean, just ask the people behind Indiana Jones 5. You see, Gunn thinks his tone and casting can revitalize the brand, but audiences aren't just showing up for cape and light and tights anymore. They're sick of the bait and switch. They want something that actually respects the core of Superman without being weighed down by awkward comedy, forced diversity lectures, or bad pacing. All right. And let's not forget James Gunn's track record with, fan trust. You see, this is a guy who's been caught fudging numbers before, shifting timelines and changing narratives on a dime. All right. And remember when he actually said he hadn't even started casting Superman? Then 2 weeks later, we got the official David Cornsweet announcement. All right. Now, James Gunn plays these behind the scenes games like a political campaign. And that doesn't sit well with the fan base already burned by years of DC misfires under the previous Warner Brothers regime. Now, the comparison to The Flash is the elephant in the room here, and they told us The Flash cost $220 million, and that turned out to be a joke. The final cost was around $300 million. Then it bombed harder than any DC movie in history. They're using the same exact playbook now for Superman. I mean, they say it's cheaper, set low expectations, try to make any box office performance look like a win. But fans have seen this trick before. They're not stupid, all right? And when Superman opens next month, all of this will be in the spotlight if the opening weekend numbers are soft. The media will scramble to cushion the blow, and they'll bring in influence to hype up the movie itself, and they'll say it's a slow burn or audiences are catching on. But unless Superman clears that inflated $700 million mark, and that's assuming the fake budget is even true, then it's going to look like another expensive gamble that didn't pay off. All right. Now, you've also got to look at how James Gunn is personally handling this pressure. You see, every time budget reports or leaks drop, he's quick to hop online and debunk them. But he doesn't provide receipts. He just says, not true, drops a sarcastic joke, and moves on. Now, that kind of spin might work on Twitter diehards, but regular audiences actually want accountability, myself included. And when legal tax documents exist showing the real numbers, no one's buying the studio spin anymore, all right? And even the intern messed up line is laughable. You see, these Ohio tax forms are now Warner Brothers qualifies for state money. If they lied or inflated expenses, that's fraud. You don't get to brush that off with a joke. James Gunn is either covering up a massive overspend or he's in the dark about what the actual budget is. Neither option inspires confidence heading into the most important Superman film in years. And the bigger concern is that James Gunn's Superman might be falling into the exact same traps that doomed many recent blockbusters. with massive costs, inflated expectations, vague marketing, and a studio desperate to go ahead and protect the narrative. And at the center of it all is, of course, James Gunn, who's still acting like, this is Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it's not. You see, this is Superman. This is a cultural icon, and if it underperforms, that stain sticks to Gunn for a long time. Now, Warner Brothers want this to be a reset, a new era, but the numbers tell a different story. You see, Superman might already be in too deep. If James Gunn can't stick the landing, it won't just be a flop, but it'll just be a warning shot across Hollywood that the era of superhero reboots with bloated budgets and dishonest marketing is finally on its last legs. Now, fans want truth, they want simplicity, and most of all, they want Superman to feel like Superman once again, okay? And maybe David Cornsweet, maybe he'll deliver. You see, maybe the movie hits hard and surprises everyone. But even if it does, the studio still has to climb out of this financial hole. And if the real cost is over $360 million, then James Gunn's credibility and Warner Brothers' reputation is actually going to take another hit, no matter what the final box office total says. Because now we know the truth, and it didn't come from a rumor mill. It came right from the state of Ohio. Now, the public actually deserves transparency, not excuses. And Superman isn't just a test for James Gunn, it's a test for the entire industry. And right now, the numbers aren't adding up. Now, whether fans turn out or not, the damage may already be done, and James Gunn better be ready to answer for it. All right. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed what was shared in the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for future notifications and uploads, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.